Hey guys, it's Paul Simon with Law Firm of Simon Paschal. We're here for another episode of Simon Paschal Says. So you may have seen on our Facebook page that this last weekend, Dustin Paschal of our office had his first newborn baby. So that's why today's production's a little bit less quality as I'm dealing with a man down. So I'm sure companies, you guys experience this all the time when one of your employees goes out on maternity leave. Something that's become more and more common is the concept of paternity leave. So let's kind of look at it from Dustin's perspective as to whether or not he has a job when he decides to come back. So is he protected? Does he have some sort of paternity leave? The first kind of law that we'll take a look at is the Family Medical Leave Act. And that's, as we all know, something that generally provides people 12 weeks of unpaid leave to care for the birth of a new child. So the FMLA does apply equally to males and females. So both mom and dad can take that 12 weeks of unpaid leave. Now the issue there is the employer needs to be under the FMLA, which means that they need to have 50 employees within a 75-mile radius. So unfortunately for Dustin, this firm does not have 50 employees, so it's not controlled by the FMLA, and therefore Dustin doesn't have 12 weeks of unpaid leave. Now what about any other leaves that he'd be entitled to? Now, one thing that does occur quite often is companies that are under 50 employees will provide some sort of leave for mothers, whether they refer to it as maternity leave, some sort of just, unpaid leave to provide care for the birth of their newborn. That's fairly common, and that can be a few weeks up to, the FMLA's 12 weeks of leave. Now, what you run into as an employer, if you want to be gracious and give that sort of leave, is you have to give it equally to males and females. Otherwise, males, dads, they can make a claim that they're being discriminated against because they're a male, that their female counterpart gets time to be home with their child, but if I'm a male, I don't get that same time. So there can be some discrimination there. So you need to be very mindful of that as an employer, that if you want to give kind of gratuitous leave to an employee to care for a child, that you give it equally to both males and females. So that's your kind of tip for the week, and we hope next time you tune in that Dustin will be with us. But check out the firm's Facebook page. You can see a post of Dustin with his newborn Braden, and we'll see you next time. All right, bye.